Faith to me is a group of people who gather together just to ask where God is and how best we can join in what God is doing. I would sum up Breathe as family, community, and food. Breathe has greatly impacted my life ever since my involvement with it in January 2019. I was coming in from Zimbabwe, and Breathe is based in Dublin, and it has impacted my life in the sense that it is an open community, it is an inclusive community, and just by that, it allows people to come in and go, and in those interactions, I got to interact with people of various backgrounds, people who have different understandings, compared to mine. And in those interactions, we get to share our understandings, what God is and who God is, and how we perceive God and how we perceive life, how we perceive the universe, how we perceive, life in general and everything that happens in it, and how best we can grow from life experiences just as human beings. So I would say Breathe has impacted my life in that sense, and the understanding that it has a Christian ethos, and the interactions happen within that framework of a Christian ethos, and that has greatly impacted my life. I came to faith, I would say, to fully understand what and who God is. That happened in my late teens. Growing up, I've always had a strict family. Every Sunday we would go to church, but before I turned around 18, 19, so I didn't really have that understanding of what and who God is. But because of life experiences and everything that happens in it, around the age of 18, 19, that's when I fully came to faith, having that understanding of wanting to talk to someone who is bigger than myself, or someone who is bigger than my next relative. I was seeking something which is probably beyond any human capacity, just in terms of asking certain questions, life questions, deep life questions. So around that period, that's when I came to faith, as I was seeking answers to life. From being part of Breathe, I've experienced the presence of God in everything that we do, really, as a group and as a family or as a community. By that I mean we Breathe is open and inclusive, and it brings in people of various understandings, people of various people who are at various levels in their faith and in their understanding of what and who God is. So in those interactions, we get to talk more about life and the deep questions of life. So I think I've since experienced the presence of God in those interactions, mainly because say I've interacted with people who perhaps are in the beginning of their journey, and some who have who are at an advanced level in their journey of faith. So bringing and bridging the gap between the two and understanding one's perspective and the other's perspective has been great for me to perhaps experience the presence of God, in that it shapes and shaped my understanding of God. And also I've experienced the presence of God in things like days of prayer that we do. It's like these are days based on a certain theme, and then we just say the whole day we are praying for this particular theme and we're praying for these particular people. So I think I've also enjoyed the presence of God in that sense, just being those people who would intercede and stand in the gap and pray for someone else, or even like people that you don't even know. That has brought great joy in me experiencing the presence of God. I enjoy the most, I think, the times that we get to interact as a community, and these times would be instances like Breathe Tanks, where we get to have dinner and interact together as a community. Before Corona, we would meet in someone's house and fellowship together for about 2 hours, have dinner together, and have Bible discussions together. So I think I enjoy those kind of sessions the most, in that it is a community which is like based on trying to unite each other and just trying to be present in each other's lives. So I have enjoyed those times the most. Now that we're during, we are experiencing this pandemic, we have kind of shifted that to Zoom, but also it's the experience remains the same in that there is a community there which I am well versed with, and which I know most of the people I think I know. So yeah, I really do enjoy those times as well, where we just get to eat dinner together and just get to talk about God, and help each other in our understandings, and encourage each other and challenge each other as well in what and who we believe God to be. The highlights that I would say I've since experienced with Breathe is that as soon as I came here, 2 weeks into my coming here, we went down to Kalofwe for an overnight, and it was something new for me, in that I was meeting new people and I was seeing new places, and I was being introduced to a totally different and a new life compared to the one that I had been used to in Zimbabwe. So I think I've since enjoyed that as one of my highlights, where we got to play games, we got to pray together, we got to have dinner together the next morning, breakfast, lunch, and we went to church together as well as a community. So I think I enjoyed that the most as well, and that was part of my highlight. Also, another time that we went to Malahide Castle, it's for me it was a completely new experience, because we do not have such places from where I'm from, and just to see different things, it definitely was a highlight for me. And also enjoying those things with people who share the same ethos and philosophy with me, that was like really, really. In terms of what's coming next, and what I hope for the future, is that I hope to be more open in terms of sharing my experience, as well as learning from other people's experiences. I think I have gotten to learn a lot in terms of interacting with people. I mean, Dublin is a multicultural environment where I've interacted with people from Brazil, people from Spain, people from Romania, people from Australia, people from England. So I think just trying to merge these different cultures and these different people's experiences, I think I just need to be open in sharing my experience in as much as learning from other people. From being involved with Breathe, I have also learned a lot about the youth work, in that through the clubs that I help out in the YMCA. So I think I've also grown in that sense of understanding what youth work is, and understanding what issues around young children and whatever services they need for them to be helped in their upbringing. So I think that is something which I always take with me, and that is something which I always appreciate and perhaps use back in Zimbabwe as well, just helping out in services that are oriented towards young children and youth. And the one thing that I think I will always carry with me is that in as much as we are different, there is that deep-seated need to be accepted within communities. And I think this is something which I will appreciate even in my interactions with other people, just knowing that it is about accepting each other, in as much as we are different, in as much as we have different skin colors, in as much as we have different religions, in as much as we come from different countries, but there's that need of just being inclusive and welcoming. So yeah, in the future I hope to keep doing that. And thank you for following my journey, supporting my journey, and being with me through this whole time. Thank you very much.